Right now, a new proposal at the Capitol to increase the legal age to buy tobacco and vaping products.
And a Madison man is killed in an apparent random stabbing attack in a Milwaukee suburb.
Plus, a local teacher is arrested, now facing tentative charges of child enticement.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 10.
Milwaukee City Health Department urging residents to immediately stop using vaping products. This comes after 16 people were hospitalized just this month with severe lung disease. A statement from the department says all patients reported vaping in the weeks and months before they became ill with what's described as an inflammation of the lungs. 10 counties reported these kinds of hospitalizations. Right now, the minimum age to buy nicotine or tobacco products here in Wisconsin is 18, but a bill would increase the minimum age to 21.
Health departments expressed their support for the bill. They're hoping it reduces the number of young adults who smoke and limits the easy access to these products. Jamie Perez spoke with local tobacco retailers about it today.
Well, right now, there's already 18 states who have increased their minimum age of buying or consuming tobacco products to 21. The lawmakers in favor of the bill say tobacco companies target young adults and that most people start smoking before the age of 21. They say by raising the minimum age, they can prevent this from happening or at least reduce it. But some local stores who sell popular items like vape pens, Juuls, and e-cigs had different opinions on how this could impact them and their customers. We've all heard the stories about how vaping and e-cigs are gaining popularity, but with that comes some health risks. A bill in Wisconsin is proposing to raise the minimum age of buying or consuming tobacco or nicotine products to 21. Supporters of the bill say they hope this can keep tobacco products out of the hands of young people. But Brandon Sanchez, who manages Vapor Wireless, says while he supports the changes, he doesn't think it will solve the public health crisis associated with it.
More and more, especially lately, we're seeing older, the average age is kind of going up, I think.
Sanchez says only about 10% of his customers are under the age of 20.
Maybe more closer to State Street area in town here because it is more of the college population.
So we checked that out too. Knucklehead's Tobacco and Vapes manager Landon Maskey says the number of people under 21 he sells to now,
maximum I'm looking at 30%.
70% are already over 21 years old. But it's still a good chunk of his customers that he could potentially lose if this bill were to pass. Still, Sanchez thinks the change couldn't hurt.
If they want to regulate this stuff, I think that's a good idea as long as they don't overdo it.
National data says most smokers started smoking when they were teenagers, and that the younger you start, the more likely you are to become addicted.
I don't think it's a bad idea to make people wait a little bit longer.
Health departments say raising the minimum age would help solve the health issues related to vaping by keeping it out of the hands of people who are underage.
You're not going to solve the problem. They will find ways to do it just like they find ways to buy alcohol.
I don't think changing the law is going to necessarily stop every single 18 to 21-year-old or 18 to 20-year-old from vaping, but I think it does make it that much more difficult.
Both vape store managers said they could lose some of their customers if the bill passes, but that the proposed changes still don't stop those who are over 21 from using these products and dealing with the health risks associated with it, something Meskey says is what lawmakers should be focusing on.
If you're looking at purely the health reasons, I think there's still not even close to enough long-term research.
The chances of the bill passing are still up in the air at this point, and as I mentioned, 18 states already have laws in place like this. I'll have a link on our website about what impact this has had on smoking rates in those states.
Nationwide, the CDC is looking into nearly 200 possible cases of severe lung disease, possibly tied to the use of e-cigarettes. Those were reported in at least 22 states.
The head of the most popular e-cigarette company, Juul, calls the reports worrisome. In his first televised interview today, Juul CEO Kevin Burns says he's in contact with the CDC.
If there was any indication that there was an adverse health condition related to our product, I think we'd take very swift action associated with it.
A new study finds a growing number of middle school and high school students, about a third, are exposed to secondhand e-cigarette aerosols from being around people who vape.
Let's turn things over to weather now. Here's meteorologist Dana Fulton with your first alert forecast.
Overall today wasn't too bad, just a little windy outside. Now tomorrow we will start off with sunshine. and then the chance for some showers and thunderstorms will reemerge in the afternoon. Here's a quick time lapse today from our WISC-TV Skycam. A beautiful start with that sunrise. A few clouds this afternoon, but a lot of sun. And now we have a mostly clear sky heading overnight and nothing new coming in on our Doppler track. Temperature-wise, we're in a great spot for this evening. 61 in Madison and in Mineral Point, 55 in Lone Rock, so just a little cool towards Camp Douglas right now, near 50 degrees. Our breeze is calm currently, but of course, those wind speeds earlier today, anywhere with the wind gusts close to 30 miles per hour. Our dew points right now are near 50. That means it's comfortable outside and dry. No threat for any sort of patchy fog overnight. Again, we will start with sunshine for Thursday, but in the afternoon and evening, showers and thunderstorms will develop. Some of them maybe even strong to severe. We'll take a closer look at those storms coming on through and the weekend in just a few minutes.
Dana, thanks. A 19-year-old is in custody in the Milwaukee suburb of Greenfield tonight. Police say he is a suspect in an apparent random stabbing death of a Madison man. According to a news release, 49-year-old Ben Christensen was working in the area at the time of this incident near South 6th Street and West Armour Avenue. Officers say the 19-year-old ran from the scene and was arrested a short while later. There appears to be no connection between the suspect and Christensen.
Bond is set at $1 million for the man accused of Madison's first homicide of 2019. It happened last Friday morning. A woman was found on the east side. 58-year-old Lou Jefferson is accused in the stabbing death of 30-year-old Amanda Woods. Her body was found near the intersection of Clyde Gallagher Avenue and Darbo Drive. The criminal complaint suggests Jefferson approached Woods at a gas station about pooling their money for a cocaine purchase. It led to an argument over $10, which led to the stabbing. Jefferson is being held in the Dane County Jail on charges of first-degree intentional homicide. Police in Fitchburg have not announced any arrest or suspects in its homicide investigation from this weekend. 17-year-old Shay Watson was found shot to death Sunday night in a home on Lyman Lane. The victim's family and friends have started a GoFundMe page. It says the money will go to anyone with information leading to an arrest in this case.
A teacher in the McFarland School District is in jail tonight. Police arrested Andrew Meeks yesterday around 2 in the afternoon on multiple counts. Meeks was tentatively charged with 1 count of child enticement, 1 count of exposing a child to harmful materials, and 1 count of causing mental harm to a child. Police did not say where the alleged incidents happened. Wabisa Intermediate School lists Meeks as a 4th grade teacher. In an email to parents, the school district superintendent said that 2 veteran teachers will take over in that classroom. An attempted sexual assault and burglary near the UW campus has Madison police asking for your help tonight. They released some surveillance photos shown here of a man they believe is involved in an incident. Happened Sunday morning in the 600 block of North Francis Street. 2 UW-Madison students say their friend was alone in her apartment when she woke up at 4 a.m. to a man standing over her with a flashlight in her face, attempting to remove her pants. If you know the identity of the man shown in those surveillance photos, you were asked to contact Madison police.
The attorneys who represented the 2 complainants in the Quintez Cephas case are calling for an investigation into the decision to reverse his expulsion from UW-Madison. Cephas was acquitted of sexual assault charges earlier this month and was granted readmission to the UW. In a statement, the complainants' attorneys called on university officials to consider how their public comments impact their clients and said reversing Cephas's expulsion undermines the credibility of the entire Title IX system at UW and sends a message that students who are victims of sexual assault cannot trust administrators. A tow truck driver is recovering after a frightening crash on the interstate in Milwaukee. It happened on Monday and was caught on camera. The tow truck driver, a 56-year-old man, was in the process of loading a car onto his flatbed when a tractor-trailer truck slammed into him. He suffered 2 broken ribs and required surgery on a broken leg. The semi-driver and his passenger escaped with cuts and bruises. Deputies cited the semi-driver for going too fast for conditions and failure to keep his vehicle under control.
Approximately 160 Wisconsin Army National Guard soldiers from the 32nd Red Arrow Infantry Brigade Combat Team headquarters will mobilize for deployment to Ukraine this fall. The brigade headquarters based at Camp Douglas. According to a release, the Red Arrow soldiers will work alongside several NATO allies to help defend Ukraine's sovereignty and territory. The Wisconsin National Guard is planning a send-off ceremony and will release those details at a later date. Race car driver Jesse Combs, host of the television series All Girls Garage and featured on Mythbusters, was killed in a high-speed crash while trying to set a new land speed record. That's according to her family. The 39-year-old was attempting to become the fastest woman on earth when she was killed while racing on the Alvord Desert, a dry lake bed in southeastern Oregon. She was driving with a modified jet engine, attempting to go nearly 500 miles per hour.
The field of Democrats looking to replace President Trump has slimmed down. Senator Kirsten Gillibrand announced on Twitter today that she is dropping out of the 2020 race for the White House. The New York Democrat failed to qualify for the third primary debate taking place next month. Midwest Express is closer to getting back in the air. Today, during a ceremony in Milwaukee, the company unveiled its first plane and announced its first 3 available destinations: Grand Rapids, Michigan, Omaha, Nebraska, and Cincinnati, Ohio. Also returning are those popular warm chocolate chip cookies baked on board. They hope to have the first plane taking off before the end of the year. Today, we are getting a sneak peek inside Madison College's new Goodman campus. Construction on the facility started about a year ago at the intersection of Park and Perry Streets. The school says it's 75,000 square feet of state-of-the-art technology. Classes begin next Tuesday at the building, and so far the college says they have about 1,600 students enrolled. The building's capacity is about 4,500 students, which the college is expected to hit in the next few years.
A Madison institution, the Greenbush Bakery, recently moved. It is now open for business at that new location. After more than 20 years, the bakery moved 1 block down Regent Street to a storefront at the Regent Apartments. Marv and Barbara Miller founded Greenbush Bakery back in 1996. Their grandson is now the general manager, and he says staying in the Greenbush neighborhood was a priority. Greenbush is the only certified kosher bakery in Madison, one of the very few in the state of Wisconsin. A piece of Packers history currently on display at the Automobile Gallery in downtown Green Bay. For the first time ever, both of Bart Starr's Super Bowl Corvettes are on display together. Starr received those cars after being named MVP in both Super Bowls 1 and 2. The green Corvette is from Super Bowl 1. That's been at the museum for over a year now. The red one from 1968 arrived just this week. Still ahead tonight, a chance for some storms tomorrow. Dana Fulton will have the updated forecast.
But first, Hurricane Dorian is gaining strength in the Atlantic. An update on its path and when it is now expected to hit the continental U.S. Welcome back. Hurricane Dorian changed course today and is expected to gain strength as it threatens to slam Florida's Atlantic coast over the Labor Day weekend.
Right now, the storm is just north of Puerto Rico. Its path appears to have spared the island nation of another direct hit.
CBS News correspondent Chris Martinez has the latest on the storm.
Dorian pounded the U.S. Virgin Islands with rain and wind as the storm strengthened into a Category 1 hurricane. The storm knocked out power and damaged buildings. The U.S. Virgin Islands governor closed schools and issued a curfew through early Thursday morning. The U.S. Hurricane Center says Dorian shifted in the general direction of Florida and could hit the state as a Category 3 hurricane.
You must have an evacuation plan. Be sure to fill your gas tank. Plan to leave with ample time to get to a safe area.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis declared a state of emergency, telling Floridians to stock up on a week's worth of supplies.
You get ready and that's it. You can't do anything more.
Forecasters say Dorian could also move north into other southeastern states.
In these situations, it's incredibly difficult to forecast where this storm will go and how severe the effects may be.
Strong winds and heavy rains lashed the Puerto Rican islands of Vieques and Culebra. But nearly 2 years after Maria devastated the area, Puerto Rico appears to have been spared a direct hit this time. Signs of Maria's destruction remain, including some 30,000 homes on the island still covered with blue tarps, and about 1,000 roads are still impassable. Chris Martinez, CBS News.
Forecasters say Dorian is on track to hit the U.S. mainland late Sunday with winds above 100 miles per hour.
Meteorologist Dana Fulton joins us now with a look at the forecast.
Yes, now we might have some storm chances popping up tomorrow, but nothing like what they might be seeing Labor Day Monday in Florida. Of course, the Category 3 hurricane well above 100 mile per hour sustained wind speed. So Dorian right now, again, just north of Puerto Rico. It's going to continue to travel northwest and then take a sharp turn west, moving right along the east coast of Florida. It should make landfall at this time. It seems more late Sunday or early Monday morning as a Category 3 hurricane. Again, hurricanes are measured by their sustained wind speeds. That's anywhere from 111 to 130 miles per hour, not including gusts or flooding or storm surge from the system. So a very strong storm that'll be moving in again for Labor Day on Monday. Right now for us, we're nice and calm and quiet. We'll have some storm chances coming in for tomorrow afternoon and evening, though. We're sitting close to 61 in Madison right now. Our dew points are near 50, so it's very comfortable outside. And finally, our breeze is a little calm. Our wind gusts today in the mid to upper 50s, mid to upper 20s, close to 30 miles per hour. That cold front that passed through earlier this week is now well off to the east. We've had high pressure today, keeping things very calm and quiet. But our next system right now, just off to the northwest, is going to move through very quickly. This quick-moving cold front will bring those storm chances for us late in the day tomorrow. But since it is going to slide through so quickly, we don't have to deal with any lingering effects or long-term storms. There's a slight risk for severe weather for the southeast corner of the state. The concern, of course, is those storms do pop up during the heat of the day. We could be dealing with some isolated, very strong wind gusts and some areas of very heavy rain at times. Overnight, we will stay mostly clear. It'll be seasonably cool to start off the day tomorrow. There's that line of storms sliding through later on in the afternoon. Behind that line, though, high pressure builds back in. And Friday, we're looking at a nice clear start to the day. In the afternoon, we stay nice and clear, but in the evening and heading into Friday night, our next chance for showers will steadily approach. Tomorrow's rainfall, it's not going to be a major accumulating event. Again, some isolated areas could see heavier rain, but overall, everyone really staying under 1/10 of an inch of accumulation as that front does pass on over. Again, mostly clear tonight. Will fall to the mid to low 50s for overnight lows. Notice there's a big shift in our wind direction, a little more southerly flow tomorrow, and that's going to help warm us on up. Temperatures in the afternoon will be close to 80. Those shower chances will pick up early in the afternoon, but they really clear on out by this evening or by Thursday evening. We're looking at a clearing sky overnight. For Friday, overall, mostly sunny. It's not until late at night that our chances for some showers and thunderstorms will develop and carry us into Saturday. Over the next 12 hours, it'll be a little cool to start off the day in the low 50s, but then we start warming right back on up, as you can see, once the sun finally does does pop on up for us. Close to 53 for our overnight lows. Wind speeds will be anywhere from 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow, another very windy day, 10 to 20 miles per hour for our wind speeds, and some gusts certainly possible along with those storms that could be popping on up. A chance for rain in the afternoon and evening. Behind that quick moving cold front, we are clear on Friday. Friday in the mid 70s, and then the chance for some rain will start to develop overnight heading into Saturday. Most of the rain chance is going to stay south of Madison, but not ruling out a few showers popping up into Dane County. Sunday, thankfully, nice and sunny. And then for Labor Day Monday, we're looking at a partly sunny sky, a few more shower chances popping up for next week. But temperatures continue to stay just a little below average as we look towards the end of August.
You know, it's interesting that we're staying cool for the first week of school for Madison next week.
Yeah.
Usually it's typically really, really hot.
You usually get one less heat wave,
Right.
one less blast, and it just didn't happen this year.
Yeah. Okay, make it comfortable for the kids.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dana. All right, just ahead, the fourth preseason game, a very important game for a lot of the Green Bay Packers. We'll have that story and more ahead in sports.
Packers made a trade tonight. They sent outside linebacker Reggie Gilbert to the Tennessee Titans for a 7th-round draft pick. Gilbert played all 16 games for the Packers last season. Tomorrow night, Packers play their last preseason game against Kansas City. There are plenty of guys like DeShone Kizer who will use tomorrow night as their last chance to solidify their spot on the final roster. Kaiser's in a battle with Tim Boyle to back up Aaron Rodgers.
Just go out and put good stuff on tape. It's been the same goal all training camp. It's been about doing whatever I can to prove to my teammates and to the guys who make the big decisions around here who exactly I am. I've had some ups and downs, but I'm just looking forward to having one last outing to kind of show who I am. The race is the race. Those aren't my decisions. Those are great questions for the guys upstairs, but for me, it's just trying to make sure I go out and try to portray exactly who I am as a quarterback.
The Badger football equipment truck was loaded up today, is now headed to Tampa, Florida. The team will jump on the plane out of Madison tomorrow afternoon, and the season opener at South Florida is Friday night at 6. No matter what level of football you're playing, you just never know what you're going to get in the first game of the season. Will those young guys get wide-eyed in the bright lights of opening night? Paul Christ on what opening night could be like.
The element of surprise is you don't really know what you're going to get from your opponent. That's one. You hope that you don't have a lot of surprises within your own players. There is an excitement. Games are different than practice, and you hope that at some point the game settles down, they can kind of go back and rely on and trust what they do and have been doing.
The Brewers really needed to win at least one game against the first-place St. Louis Cardinals, and then they got that win this afternoon at Miller Park. Cardinals pitcher Jack Flaherty has been great lately, but today Keston Hiura figures him out. Hiura hits his homer, drives in 3. Brewers were up 3-0, and then their pitching backed it up. Jordan Lyles had a good start. Junior Guerra was a great bridge, and Josh Hader had 2 perfect innings to close it out. Final score, Brewers 4, Cardinals 1. The Brewers are off tomorrow. They'll play the Cubs at Wrigley Field Friday afternoon. Speaking of those Cubs, they're in New York to play the Mets tonight, and the Cubs hit them with 6 runs in the very first inning. The highlight, an Ian Happ 2-run homer. Final score was Cubs 10, Mets 7, so the Brewers are 5.5 out in the Central, and they're 3.5 behind the Cubs for the second NL wild card. Our Prep Mania High School Football Game of the Week features 2 teams who figure to make a run at the Big 8 Conference Championship. Verona and Middleton both won last week. It's a big early season showdown Friday night. Hope you'll join us on channel3000.com, 7 o'clock Friday night for Verona at Middleton. At Breeze-Stevens Field tonight, 4,663 fans set a single-game attendance record for a USL League One game as Forward Madison hosts the Greenville Triumph. 42nd minute, the visitors get the goal. It's Chris Bermudez with the score, and it's a dandy in the upper 90. Final score, Greenville Triumph 1, Forward Madison 0, a costly loss as the Flamingos try to make the playoffs. And we'll be right back.
His first goal on the season, and what a crucial goal that could be tonight.
Got some serious football coming up the next couple of nights.
Yeah, going to be a hot one for the Badgers. It's supposed to be about upper 80s, 60% chance of rain, I guess, Friday night.
A little warm.
But the Hurricane's not going to be there quite yet.
Not yet, not yet. They
Good.
get to hold off until Monday, so if they can get out of there before then, that'd be ideal. So
Bad for the Florida people. But
bad for Florida, though. We'll get the Badgers.
Saturday to get in and get out, pretty much, right?
Take care of business.
Right.
Then come back.
Business. Take care of business.
How's that?
She's learning her football, her terms. Final check, Dana.
Oh boy. So tomorrow we do have our own chance for some showers and thunderstorms. A quick moving cold front's going to have things a little warm in the afternoon. That storm chances later in the evening. And then by Friday, we're partly sunny, back to the mid 70s before another chance of rain moves in on Saturday, mainly south of Madison. We're not ruling out the chance for a few showers to pop north. Otherwise, the rest of Labor Day weekend looks pretty good.
Dana, thanks. Thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 10.
Do something good, and we'll see you tomorrow.